Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. What would you do if you suddenly found out your father has secretly child you never knew existed? So here's what's going down. Things at Forrester Creations were already tense, but then Steffi stumbles onto a tiny detail that completely flips her world upside down. What starts as a small inconsistency turns into a shocking revelation. Dylan, the quiet and mysterious newcomer, might actually be Reed's Forrester's long lost child. And from that moment on, everything family trust, identity starts to unravel in the most emotional way possible. Alright, let's really walk through his together. Because this story doesn't just hit hard, it creeps up on you slowly and then completely explodes. Everything begins inside Forrester Creations, but the pressure has already been building for a while. You know how it is in the world: business drama, personal tension, emotions always running just under the surface. And right in the middle of it all is Steffi Forrester, strong, confident, always in control, at least on the outside. But lightly, something feels off to her. She can't quite explain it, but there is this nagging feeling she just can't shake. And then there's Dylan, quiet, reserved, a little too mysterious for comfort. At first, it's easy to brush it off. Maybe she's just dealing with her own issues. Maybe it's just the stress of life in Los Angeles. But the more Steffi watches her, the more she notices little things: the distance, the hesitation, the way Dylan seems like she's holding something back. And if you know Steffi, you already know our instincts are rarely wrong. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Not a big dramatic reveal, not some loud confrontation, just a small detail, something almost forgettable: a document, a name, a date that doesn't quite line up. Steffi stumbles across some old records connected to Dylan's past. At first glance, nothing unusual, but then her eyes catch something that makes her stop cold. A name she knows very well: Reach Forrester, her father, and just like that, her entire world starts to tilt. Now Steffi doesn't just jump to wild conclusions. She is careful. She thinks things through. But this is too big to ignore. So she starts digging, but quietly at first. She approaches Dylan Lane gently, trying to understand where she comes from, what her story really is. But instead of getting answers, she gets resistance. Dylan becomes guarded, almost defensive. And honestly, that only makes things worse. Because in the Forrester world, secrets don't stay hidden forever. Eventually, the tension builds to a breaking point, and that's when it happens. Stevie confronts Dylan, and you can just feel the intensity in the moment. It's heavy, emotional, almost suffocating. Steffi isn't just asking questions anymore. She's demanding the truth, not as a boss, not even as a colleague, but as a daughter. She looks at Dylan and basically says, "What are you hiding from me?" And Dylan freezes. There's hesitation, there are tears, and then in a moment that completely shifts everything, she admits it. She always known her past wasn't simple. She grew up in secret. She never told her father that the full story, but recently she discovered something that changed her life. Something huge, something impossible to ignore. And then comes the bombshell. Dylan reveals that she isn't just some random newcomer. She isn't just another employee. She's Rich Forrester's child. Yeah, let that sink in. A long lost child, hidden for years. And suddenly everything makes sense and nothing makes sense at all. Steffi's reaction: pure shock. For a moment, she can't even process it. It's like time just stops. Her thoughts are racing, her emotions crashing into each other all at once. Another secret from her own father. She feels betrayed, hurt, completely blindsided. Because for her, family isn't just important, it's everything. And finding out that there's been a missing piece all this time, that cuts deep. Of course, this doesn't stay between them for long. Eventually, Rich is confronted. At first, he refuses to believe it. He's confused, overwhelmed, trying to make sense of something that feels impossible. But as more details come out, dates, connections, pieces of the past, he starts to realize this could actually be real. Years ago, he had a relationship, something brief, something he thought was long before. He never imagined it would come back into his life like this. But the truth is, the woman from his past never told him she was pregnant. She raised Dylan on her own, and now, all these years later, everything is coming to the surface. And just like that, the entire Forrester family is shaken. Because this isn't just emotional, it's personal, it's legacy, it's power. Another heir, another came, another shift in everything they thought they knew. Steffi is struggling. She wants to do the right thing, but her emotions are all over the place. She doesn't know if she can trust Dylan. She doesn't know if she's ready to accept her. But then comes a softer moment. Dylan approaches her again, this time with no defenses, just honesty. She explains she never meant to hurt anyone. She didn't grow up with wealth or privilege. She didn't even knew who her father was. All she ever wanted was to belong somewhere. And you can see it, just for a second, Steffi softens. Not completely, but enough to show that beneath all the anger there's understanding. Of course, this is a soap opera, so what happens next? A DNA test? And the waiting is unbearable. Everything is on edge, because this result changes everything. When it finally arrives, the room goes silent, and the answer, well, that's where the suspense really hits its peak. If it's true, everything changes. The family dynamic, the business, the future. Steffi has to share her father in a way she never imagined. Reed has face-to-face past he can't ignore anymore. And Dylan has to figure out how to fit into a family she's never known. And honestly, this storyline hits hard because it's not just drama, it's real. It's about family, secrets, choices, and consequences. And above all, forgiveness. Because no matter how shocking the truth is, there's always a chance to heal. But of course, it doesn't end there. Back at their Forrester mansion, things start to get messy. People take sides even before the DNA results are fully settled. Someone believed Dylan deserved a chance. Others, not so much, because let's be real, when someone suddenly appears claiming to be a long-lost child, there's always the question, is there more to the story? Then we get Brooke and Taylor stepping in, because, they're not staying quiet. Brooke, full of empathy, tells Reed to keep his heart open. She reminds him that if Dylan really is his child, then she's spent her whole life without a father. But Taylor, completely different perspective. She's protective, especially of Steffi, and she's not convinced that this is something that you should just be welcomed without question. And just like that, the emotional lines are drawn. Meanwhile, Steffi is stuck in the middle, battling her own feelings. She understands Dylan's pain, but she also feels like her entire world is slipping away. Her father, her family, her sense of stability, it all feels uncertain now. And for Dylan, this isn't some victory. It's overwhelmed. She doesn't feel like she's won anything. She feels like an outsider, looking in, unsure if she even belongs. There are moments where she questions everything, whether coming forward was the right decision at all. Because sometimes the truth doesn't bring people together, sometimes it pushes them apart. Then we get a quiet moment between Rich and Dylan. No arguments, no tension, just honesty. Rich really looks at her, and for the first time, he starts to see similarities. The way she talks, the way she carries herself. It's subtle, but it's there. And something shifts, not certainty, but possibility. He tells her that if this is true, they will figure it out together. And for Dylan, that means everything. But just when things start to calm down, a new question comes up. What if someone else knew this all along? What if this wasn't just some random discovery? What if someone was waiting for the perfect moment to reveal it? And if that's true, why now? Who benefits from this? And just like that, we are pulled even deeper into the mystery. Because as everything settles, one thing is clear: the Forrester family is entering a completely new chapter, one filled with uncertainty, but also possibility. Now the big questions remain. Will Steffi accept Dylan as family? Will Rich fully step into this new role as a father? Or will this revelation tear everything apart? This situation is explosive because it hits every emotional pressure point at once: family, identity, trust, legacy. If Dylan really is Rich's child, the ripple effect is massive. It's not just about emotions, it's about power within the family and the business. Steffi's internal struggle could lead to major conflict, especially if she feels replaced or pushed aside. Ridge, on the other hand, is being forced to confront a past he thought was long buried. And Dylan, she's caught in the middle, trying to find acceptance while also being questioned from every direction. And let's not ignore that lingering mystery. If someone planned this reveal, then this world could be get more complicated. Honestly, this is the kind of storyline that keeps you hooked because it feels so real emotionally. I mean, imagine finding out your entire family history isn't what you thought it was. That's not something you just accept overnight. I actually feel for all three of them: Steffi for the shock and betrayal, Rich for the guilt and confusion, and Dylan for just wanting a place to belong. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder if there's more going on here. Because in this world, things are never this simple. So now I have got to ask you: do you think Dylan is truly Rich's child? Or is there another twist coming? And if the DNA test confirms it, should Steffi accept her as family or keep her distance? Also, who do you trust more in this situation? Brooke's open heart or Taylor's cautious instincts? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I all really want to know where you stand on this. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into all the drama, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Because trust me, the story is far from over.